Shoulder flexion. Lie supine with arms extended to the side. The axis of rotation is the greater tubercle of the humerus. The stationary arm is parallel to the thorax, and the mobile arm is down the midline of the humerus. Normal range of motion is 180 degrees. This is a grade 5. The coracobrachialis is the main muscle used in shoulder flexion. The origin is the coracoid process of the scapula, and the insertion is the midshaft of the humerus. Knee flexion. Lie supine, flexing hip at 90 degrees and knee to maximum flexion. The axis of rotation is over the lateral epicondyle of the femur. The stationary arm is aligned on the thigh to the greater trochanter. The mobile arm is aligned with the lateral malleolus. Normal range of motion is 140 degrees. The main muscle of knee flexion is the semimembranosus and the semitendinosus. The origin is the ischial tuberosity, and the insertion is the medial tibia. Flexor carpi ulnaris. Have your partner sit with their forearms supported on the table, with their palm facing up. Extend the wrist, bringing the wrist towards the pinky. Stabilize with one hand and resist with the other. You will be applying force with extension and radial deviation. This would be a grade 5. The flexor carpi ulnaris' origin is at the medial epicondyle of the humerus. The insertion is the pisiform bone. The main action is wrist flexion and ulnar deviation. Biceps femoris. Have partner lie prone on the table with knee a little less than 90 degrees. Have their toes face laterally. Grab onto the ankle with both hands and pull towards you. Have them pull their heel towards their bottom. This would be a grade 5. The biceps femoris has a long head and a short head. The origin of the long head is at the ischial tuberosity, and the insertion is the head of the fibula and the lateral condyle of the tibia. The main action is hip extension, knee flexion, and knee external rotation. The short head's origin is at the linea aspera and the posterior distal shaft of the femur. The insertion is at the head of the fibula and lateral condyle of the tibia. The action is knee flexion and knee external rotation. Cervical flexion. The axis of rotation is at the external acoustic meatus. The stationary arm is perpendicular to the ground, and the mobile arm is aligned with the bottom of the nose, also called the nares. Normal range of motion is 50 degrees. The main muscle used in cervical flexion is the sternocleidomastoid. It has a sternal head and a clavicular head. The origin of the sternal head is the manubrium, and the insertion is the mastoid process. The clavicular head's origin is the medial clavicle, and the insertion is the mastoid process as well. Rectus abdominis. Have your partner lie supine on the table with their legs extended. Have them cross their hands behind their head and crunch up. If their scaps get off the table fully, then it's a grade 5. For this, it would be a grade 4 since the scaps do not fully reach off the table. The origin of the rectus abdominis is the pubic crest and the pubic symphysis. The insertion is the xiphoid process and cartilages of the ribs 5 through 7. The action is it flexes the trunk.